How can you block a chess pawn from promoting to a queen? Imagine a pawn racing down the board, eager to become a queen and turn the game around. How do you stop it from reaching that final square? That's what we're here to figure out. In the endgame, when pawns are close to promotion, blocking them becomes a key part of your strategy. The first thing to remember is that a pawn can only move forward one square at a time, except on its first move where it can go to squares. It captures diagonally, which is important for planning your defense. To prevent a pawn from promoting, you want to control the promotion square, which is the 8th rank for white and the 1st rank for black. One simple way is to place your king or a piece directly in front of the pawn on that promotion square. For example, if white's pawn is about to reach the 8th rank, moving your king to the 7th rank directly in front of it can block its path. The king can also control the squares diagonally in front of the pawn, making it impossible for the pawn to capture or advance safely. Sometimes, a single piece like a bishop or knight can control the critical squares around the pawn, stopping it from moving forward. If you have a piece that can attack the pawn from a distance, use it to threaten the pawn and force your opponent to make a less favorable move. Another tactic is to capture the pawn before it reaches the promotion square. If your opponent's pawn is isolated and unprotected, a well-timed capture can prevent promotion altogether. In some cases, creating a situation called zugzwang can help. This is when your opponent is forced to make a move that worsens their position, maybe even losing the pawn. The concept of opposition is also very useful here. When your king faces the opponent's king with one square in between, you can control key squares and block the pawn's advance. Remember, controlling the diagonals in front of the pawn is essential because pawns capture diagonally. If you can cover those squares, the pawn cannot safely move or capture. Sometimes, the opponent might try to promote to a piece other than a queen, called under promotion, to avoid stalemate or tactical issues. Your goal is to use your pieces and king to create a blockade that makes promotion impossible or undesirable. In practical play, it's all about coordinating your remaining pieces and king to control the critical squares in front of the pawn. This is a fundamental part of endgame strategy, especially when passed pawns are on the board. By understanding how to block a pawn effectively, you can turn a losing position into a draw or even a win. It's about patience, precise placement, and knowing when to attack or defend. So next time you see a pawn racing to the end, remember these methods to stop it in its tracks and keep your game alive.